pizza is a more traditional pizza than the quick one, which is a scondo. We're still going to use half wholemeal flour because it's a little bit healthier in terms of the amount of fibre that's in it. And we're using a strong plain flour, which has more gluten in it and is good for bread making. So we're going to put 100 grams of each of those into our bowl, and then we're going to add a little bit of fat. Now we're using margarine today. You can use a tablespoon of oil. Olive oil is sometimes used, so you can add that instead. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt and the margarine, and then we're going to rub in. We're just going to do that until there are no lumps left. Give it a shake, they'll come to the top. We're then ready to add our 1 teaspoon of sugar and our 1 teaspoon of dried yeast. Give it a good stir, and then we are ready to add our warm water. It's important it's warm because that helps the yeast to start producing the carbon dioxide and help make the bread rise. Just going to mix that with a round bladed knife. So it should be quite a soft, stretchy dough. There should be no crumbs, no dry bits left in the bottom. And then we're ready to start our kneading. So put a little bit of flour on the table and tip out the dough. Cover the dough with some flour so it doesn't stick to your hands. Now keep the flour dredger or your packet of flour nearby. For the first few minutes this will be quite sticky. But don't be tempted to put a ton of flour on the table, otherwise your dough becomes too dry and it's really hard to knead. So just a little and often until you can feel it stopping sticking to your hands. Okay, and that shouldn't be too long. And we're going to knead this for 10 minutes. Okay, and you should notice a difference in the texture of the dough. So for 10 minutes, put a timer on. It should be a nice stretchy dough, quite soft. And once we've done our 10 minutes, then we're ready just to turn it over and we're going to roll it out. So using your rolling pin and the usual technique of away from you and back and then turn it round so it doesn't stick to the table. But you'll notice it's springing back and you have to press quite hard to make sure that you are actually stretching it as you are rolling it. So keep doing that until you've got it the right size, which will be about the size of a dinner plate. That's the kind of size that you're looking for. And once you've got it that size, then you can put it onto your baking tray, and we'll leave that until we have got the topping made. So once we've got our dough ready, then just put that to the side and we're going to start on the topping. So we're going to finely chop the onion, take the skin off and then cut it down the lines really finely, so i.e. lots of lines down there, and then we're going to cut it across the way. Okay, and you can see how small the pieces are. The onion is in here for flavour, not really for texture. We're going to cook it for about 10 minutes in the tomatoes and the tomato juice, but that will help to soften the onion so it's not crunchy. So next is in our tomatoes. The recipe is 3 tinned tomatoes and 3 tablespoons of juice, so that makes 6. So I'm using 6 tablespoons of chopped tomatoes. Depends what you buy from the shops. And we're putting in a tablespoon of the tomato puree and a half a teaspoon mixed herbs and a little bit of salt and pepper. And then we're ready to put that onto the cooker to cook for about 10 minutes. That will help to soften the onion so it's not crunchy, and you want that to bring that to the boil and then let it simmer. Keep an eye on it, give it the odd stir. It's going to simmer for about 10 minutes, but you don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan, so just make sure you've not got it up too high. Once it's had its 10 minutes, then you can turn it off. It should be a nice thick, rich looking sauce. If it's still a bit runny, just turn the heat up for a minute or so until that's evaporated. You don't want it too runny to spread on top of your dough. Put the tomato mixture on top of your dough. Don't put it in a big lump in the middle, otherwise it becomes a bit harder to spread. And I'm just using a tablespoon here to spread that over the top. It works better than a knife. Don't go too close to the edge, otherwise it'll spill off when it's cooking and it just makes a mess. If you want any other toppings, then put them on top of the tomato. And then the last thing you're going to put on is your 75 grams of grated mozzarella. Sometimes you need to grate it yourself, it depends where you buy it. Just make sure you cover all of the tomato with that, and then it's going to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. When you take it out of the oven, it should be fairly firm round the edge and the cheese should be a light golden brown.